Hello everyone, this is Botany and Board. I am Bailey, and today I'm very busy, so I want to go ahead and get this August wrap up out. So we're going to do my makeup and get ready while I tell you all the books that I have read in the month of August, because I worked 11 hours yesterday and I was too tired to film it after work. So we were doing it before work as I get ready this time. So I think that should bode well for me. Time-wise. Will it work well as far as multitasking? I do not know, but we'll figure it out. Also, my new mug that I got, my little plant lady mug. So I love books, board games, and plants. That's what Botany and Board is all about. If you like any of those things, we can be friends. If you like all three of those things, we can be best friends. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in. So I read only 10 books in August, which is not too, I think that's probably pretty standard. It seems like some months though, I think I set my reading goal at 120, so I'm supposed to kind of read 10 books a month effectively, so I guess I did that in the month of August. So the first one that I read, I actually started in July, but I finished it in August. So that was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And I might have talked about this one in my July. It's confusing me because I did a July recap, August TBR, and then also a tier ranking of all the books I've read. So I get confused a little bit of like what I've touched on before. But anyways, that one, everybody is kind of dying over it. They think it is a 5-star read. I really enjoyed my time. I think it's a 4-star. And especially actually if you're a person who's kind of like new to romance and want a little more like fade to black and less of the like smutty aspects, then I would say it's definitely a good one. It's quirky, it has good banter in it, I really like. So you have, this is the one where Justin and Emma, and so Justin, he has this curse where every girl he ends up breaking up with finds her fiance as soon as they have broken up. And I got finally a new, I usually do a blender thing, and so I finally got actually just a brush because I'm just tired of tapping all the time. So anyway, so Emma ends up reading the Reddit thread, and she's like, oh my god, this happens to me too. And so lo and behold, then they kind of like start talking and then end up kind of going through a thing. They're like, hey, we can maybe like break each other's curses and we'll date each other. And then once we break up, maybe we'll find our forever person. But of course, it ends up being their romance, as that's how romance novels go. It's like a Hallmark movie. You know what to expect. We love it. We don't want to be surprised with like Justin died or something, which that doesn't happen, by the way. So it is their love story. It's cute. I like the banter, but it doesn't have some of the aspects that I kind of go to predominantly in my romances. Also, I will apologize. We are apparently coming down with something. I work from home, so Wyatt always brings the germs home to me. And so I'm like watching what I'm going to be dealing with, like, so he's like a day progressed ahead of me, but essentially, kind of how that's been working out. So Just for the Summer, if you have not read it, 4 stars. I do recommend you picking it up, but it maybe is not going to be your favorite if you end up being kind of like me in some of your tastes, which you'll have to just watch more of my videos to figure out if your tastes align with my tastes and exactly what my tastes are. So next up we had It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. So I had this book for a long time, just sitting on my shelf, and I never read it. But since the movie's coming out, I was like, oh, finally I need to read it. My girlfriends and I are supposed to be going to the theater to see it, but we are having like one hell of a time getting everyone coordinated together. So the summer ends up being a busy time, and one of them has like also like a job that she works on the weekends as well. So things are getting scrunched, and then others of us have where we work too long during the day. For instance, I worked 11 hours yesterday, so without a lunch or anything, standing up hardly. So month end as an accountant is not a period of time to be desired. That's why I kind of, with doing these wrap-ups, sorry, I'm on just random tangents. This is what happens when you get me in the morning and I'm still drinking my coffee. What was I going to say? I was talking about something. So I can't remember what exactly now. We'll move on. Okay, let me find my colors and shadows and everything first. Because again, I'm not that great at multitasking, so this was a adventure for myself. Oh, my favorite thing too, though, is the not favorite thing. This is sarcasm. So people in my company who like aren't in accounting, it's like I feel like it's their favorite time to go like ask me a bunch of other questions. Like, can we look into this? I'm like, literally nothing you can ask me right now. Like I'm like full stacked during this time. So like anything you need, it better be on fucking fire or I'm not caring about it at the moment. So I even almost worked some of my Labor Day break. So we had a 4-day weekend and I was like so stressed about this week because I have like 5 deadlines on Friday. And with it being a short week and whatnot. So I almost worked like on Friday some, and then I was like, no, it's my break. And then like people won't, I don't know that, recognize that, right? So then I'm like, I'll just wait. So yeah, I paid for it yesterday. So hopefully today's not an 11-hour day, but we shall see. Again, I do have 5 deadlines that are all due on Friday. So also if I don't want to work super late on Friday, then it might be inevitable. Anyways, books. It ends with us. I'm supposed to go see it with my girlfriends. We have yet to do so. The book, though, I really like it. So it has Lily Bloom, and that's Blake Lively's character in the movie. So essentially there's kind of 2 love interests-ish. There's more so like her kind of, I think they were child, I don't know. He's been like in her life, like Atlas. He's been in her life a while, like friends. I can't remember their backstory actually at this point. Or this is the beginning of August. Things leave me very quickly. And she ends up though with a different guy who she kind of meets on this rooftop who is a surgeon, doctor, something like that. He ends up being a little bit of a hothead though. So there's some, it ends up turning into a very like, a little bit heavier of a story with some like domestic violence and stuff like that, but I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars. I always love though too, I am a sucker for, so I love triangles. Anytime there's like, and it almost is like the best because then like well, I don't want to like spoil too much I guess, but I feel like everybody kind of like lets you know there's like spoiler alerts that there's domestic violence, but then it's like, oh, it makes you easy obviously not to like that one. So like, you're like, oh, I don't have to, because sometimes I hate like in love triangles whenever I'm like, oh, I always feel bad for the person who doesn't get picked. So it's like I feel like I can almost like never be happy though, because I'm like, oh, I just feel bad for the one who didn't get picked. But on this one it's like, yeah, don't pick him. Anyways, 5 stars just for the summer, not just for the summer. It ends with us. And now we'll go to the next one. The next one was my favorite read, and honestly this might be my favorite romance read of the year, I would say. At this point, it definitely has it, is Play Along, Isaiah. Like I keep like thinking about him like more and more. Like I read it and like loved him, thought he was so adorable, and then like the longer I'm like away from it, then I'm like I still like think about how cute he is. So this one, he is a baseball player. This is the 4th book in the Windy City series, and he so she is a doctor, but the guy who works at the baseball team is kind of a misogynist, and then he will only give her a job as a personal trainer once he figures out that she is a woman. So she is trying to kind of like do her best to just keep her head down, prove her way, maybe get a job somewhere else. But she's like trying to like prove this guy that like she can do it, and maybe he would like come around, the coach guy. So Isaiah is there and sees it the whole time that she is like way too qualified to be treated how she is and everything, and he is just so sweet. He falls for her first. He falls super hard. He's very like persistent, and also like he is just like so funny. Like I was like, I had a constant like smile, smirk, like things. It makes me so laugh, like just thinking about some of the stuff. So definitely pick this one up. Also, this whole series, honestly, I would read all of them if I were you. I am actually right now re-listening to The Right Move, which is the second one with Ryan Shea, on Hoopla right now, because it's been a while since I read it, and I was like, because I was trying to decide if I like Isaiah or Ryan Shea better, and I think I like Isaiah after re-listening to The Right Move. I think Isaiah is my guy. So absolutely recommend this one. I would say 6 stars, even 6 stars. This is like one of my favorite romances of all time. I'm adding that to that, and probably the favorite of the year. So that's not high enough praise for you to read it, then it must not be for you. So okay, yeah, so definitely check that one out. He even usurped Julian Hates, you guys. Julian like hits for a whole different thing, but it's also because like that's not his like whole main book, and he's obviously like, I'm still waiting for Julian's HEA, so maybe that book will be better. But right now, Isaiah is my favorite. Play Along is my favorite book of the year so far. Okay, and then we switched over to thrillers. So What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. So I also rated this one 4 stars. I did, though, I want to say, I listened to this one on audio. I started listening to it with Wyatt, actually, and he was like not having it. He didn't enjoy it. So it has like it starts with like these little girls, and it kind of like takes you back to where they used to go like in the woods, and they find Persephone and in the woods. And so they do some kind of like little, children getting up to like, let's try to do like some witch things, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of past to present, trying to figure out what exactly happened back then, because the one girl is stabbed 17 times, and so after she manages to survive, and so then she says that like the serial killer is like who did it to her, and so then it's kind of like past to present to figure out like exactly what happened, because as it goes along you're like, was it the serial killer that got you, or was something else going on? So I enjoyed the twists and the turns of that one. So that is What Lies in the Woods. 4 stars. Also would recommend that one. I had a very good reading month in August. Actually, nothing was below 4 stars. So there's only 10 books, but they were treating me well, evidently. Okay. Next we have where we ended. Okay, so this is the 5th book in the Stone Riders MC book, and this one is actually my favorite. So this is Silas and Natty. So you see Natty and Silas like throughout all of them, and you actually think Silas is like a really bad guy in the first ones, but then you realize it's actually like his dad is like the bad one. But anyways, he is crazy protective over Natty, would do like anything and everything, and it has that like friends to lover aspects. And then the best part, this is the best part, okay, because I think this is one of those things I'm gonna start tagging almost as a trope. I use the word trope as like almost just like a theme that is present, or a set of things. I don't know what the legitimate term of trope actually means, but that is how I use it. So the trope, though, that would be is that she's keeping a secret from him. Like she's definitely withholding information and not telling him something. And when he finds out, he is going to be pissed. And he is. And I love just waiting for that. I'm like waiting for the like, oh yeah, wait, let's see the blow up, shall we? So, and she's like hiding it from him for him so that he doesn't blow up. But so it's just because he's obviously not going to take the news of what it is. I'm not going to say anything, but what it is very well. So yeah, I love that aspect. I'm like, oh, when's it going to happen? It's like, it like keeps me just like flying through the book, because then I'm like when is it gonna come out? When is it gonna come out? So absolutely 5 stars. Love that one. It's actually my favorite. Used to the first one was my favorite of those, but actually now I would say that one is my favorite. I keep looking like from like trying to do my makeup in here, and that's like I cannot see enough. Okay, and I don't want any more. My eyes are fine. Just working a long month-end day. I do have a couple meetings. That's another annoying thing is like see people like schedule meetings on my calendar, and I'm like, you guys, I have like 6 deadlines this week. Like I don't have time to do any of your other things that you're like putting in here. Anyways, is anybody else an accountant? Please commiserate with me. Please. I used to be in tax though, and oh my god, I will never go back to that. 80-hour weeks, goodbye. Good riddance with that. So it could be worse. It could be worse. All right. So the next book we had was We Were Never Here, and this is the only book I actually have physically. And believe it or not, though, I didn't read it. I don't think. Maybe I read like 1 chapter physically. So I kind of wish I would have read my physical book because I feel like I do keep up with thrillers, like the facts and whatnot, better if I read them physically versus I listened to this one on Libby and then Spotify actually as well because I ran out. I think it returned my book before I was ready, so then I had to finish it on Spotify. Which, by the way, I love that Spotify has audiobooks nowadays. That's really cool. I mean, you only get so many listening hours, so you might have to like, plan ahead for that. You might have to wait till the next month to finish a book or end up spending. I haven't ever spent the money to like get the thing. Why does this mascara look so bad? It's like it got like all over my eye somehow. Okay, anyways. So next up is Starting Line, which is by McKay Marie from Oh Hey It's McKay. And I love this one, you guys. It was so good. So I also gave it 4 stars. So Caleb and TJ, she is a gymnast, Olympic gymnast, and he is an Olympic swimmer. And it is their romance, and it's so cute. He is like the cocky, like she ends up not liking him, right? So because she meets him, he's like arrogant, cocky, like he steps up to this thing, like knocks her hat off, and then he goes and says like, "Excuse you," where I'm like, "Excuse me." Excuse you. Like, so she instantly, right, is like, has a bad vibe for this guy. But it's kind of then you learn that it's kind of Caleb's just like outside persona that he has for people, and he is actually sweet underneath, and he is so sweet to her. He takes her out for her birthday because it's going to be like she's going to have like her 21st birthday when it is the Olympics. So instead, like he takes her to a bar that will serve her drinks early so that she can actually have a birthday celebration, and he just says so many sweet things, and you're like, oh, okay, so you're kind of like a cocky, arrogant asshole, but then you're like really nice to her and actually like sweet underneath, and that combo really did it for me. So highly recommend that one. It was very good. And that one's just a standalone. I don't believe it's in a series. Okay, and then the last 2 books that we have of August. So the next Mrs. Parish, which is the next book in the last Mrs. Parish series, and that one, I loved it. So the last Mrs. Parish is one of my favorite thriller novels of all time. And the next Mrs. Parish was just as good. It was so good. So definitely if you liked the first, go ahead and pick up the second. Also, if you have read Freedom McFadden's The Housemaid and you want to see kind of the OG of a little bit of that, then go read both the Mrs. Parish series. They are very good. Highly, highly recommend. Some of my favorite thrillers of all time. And then the last book for me was another reread of some of my favorites. So I put this on again. I knew I had a busy week, and so I just put it on Hoopla to help me throughout. And so that was Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. And this one is so good as well. So kind of actually, if you want to go in the a little bit of the domestic violence sector, or like it's present in both. So it ends with us and long shot have that both present. So and again, it kind of has that like she's keeping it a secret from him, so you're just kind of like waiting to figure out when August will figure it out. So you have August, and then you have Iris. Iris is actually with August is in the NBA. Iris is with a different NBA player who's actually kind of like rivals with August. His name is Caleb, and he is kind of abusive. He's abusive to Iris, which you find out very early. This isn't like a spoiler or anything. So it is kind of the story, and she has a baby with Caleb, and so that is why she's kind of stuck in the situation she is in and can't exactly leave so easy because she has the kid that she is also responsible for. So yes, absolutely love it. It was just as good the second time around, so 5 stars for that as well. It is also one of my favorite romances of all time. So that, you guys, I haven't finished my lips yet, so I guess we will do my lips and then we'll be done, because that is I don't even know if I don't think I'm gonna do my hair today. I think we're just gonna go just like this. Okay, what color? So I'm kind of a red lip kind of gal. Usually it seems a little over the top with what I'm wearing today. I am in like an oversized sweatshirt that is actually my husband's, and a pair of shorts. So this is gonna look like a little over the top, but see, having the hair down or the hair up kind of like takes it back to casual, but we're gonna go the red lip anyway. So yeah, I need to plan my September TBR as well. I never used to plan TBRs. I just kind of like read one book, and then like once I finish it, I just go pick up what I want to read next. But it is kind of nice to like have a plan. I think that it'll help me maybe. What I thought about doing was going and doing like something from like the bottom of my TBR, like something that's been there for a long time, and then something kind of in the middle, something at the top, just so that I make sure I'm kind of getting all, because sometimes what happens to me is that I get really excited about all the top stuff in my TBR because I'm trying to keep up like with the new releases as well, but then like obviously there's too many of them that come out and I can't read that fast, so then I end up getting a little bit behind, and then like some of the stuff that sits on my TBR like forever and ever that I never got to, then it like becomes less appetizing to me. So I'm trying to like figure out a way to be like, okay, try to keep like still be like part of the new while the new is coming out, but then catch up on some of the stuff that I haven't quite gotten to yet. So I need to make my September TBR. That will also be coming out, as well as my gaming wrap up from August. So that will be coming out as well. So I might actually film that really fast before I have to start working. So, but with that, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Sorry if that was chaotic and chatty. That is what happens when I'm multitasking. So thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I will see you next time.